Manager out when you're in the field, either if you have a smartphone or a tablet or device, something like that. That is the primary discussion that we'll be having today. I wanted to thank everyone for taking time out of your busy days and spending time with us this afternoon. Just to let you know, a reminder, we will have someone on the call answering questions live. So over on the right-hand side in your GoToWebinar control panel, there's a bottom area to be able to chat or ask questions. Be sure to submit your questions and have those questions answered in real time, okay? I also, before we begin the webinar, dealing with the specific content that that we're supposed to be talking about today, I always want to remind everyone that we have the help system in here. If you press the blue help button here in the upper right side of your screen on the website, and then we have all of the online documentation, how-tos, and sales reports, things like that. We also have the Learning Center videos that you can come in here and look at any video. We have close to 100 videos now in our video library. For webinars, for any of the past webinars you've not been able to attend, you can come here to the webinar section and look at past webinars. And we have these webinars now categorized by subject matter areas: accounts receivable, digital studio production, sales, and then it gives you a brief synopsis and description of the webinar, when it was held, the ability here to watch the webinar, because I am now recording. I wasn't recording before, but I'm now recording. And so you have all of your webinars here listed. Any live questions and answers that were typed in and shared during the webinar will also be available here. For any upcoming webinars that we have planned out, you can come to the upcoming webinars area here. And oh, here's the one for today: how to utilize Magazine Manager on mobile devices, basic reporting, things like that. These are the kind of topics we're going to be covering today. So just remember that you always have the Learning Center videos, and we always have Magazine Manager's help area here available to you at any time for this. I'll go ahead and get started. I'm running this tool called AirServer, and AirServer is going to allow me to share my cell phone, my smart device, my smartphone here on Magazine Manager. So this screen that you see here right now, this is a smartphone screen. I'm just emulating the screen here on the Magazine Manager. I'm mirroring it here. Now let's talk a little about your mobile solutions and what's really intended for what. Remember, in Magazine Manager, you have your standard site, your site name .magazinemanager.com. You also have the .net site that you can log into. It's a test site. It's a backup-only site. It's a copy of your live data. It looks real. It behaves real. And it could even have real data as soon as yesterday on it, because we periodically, like every couple of weeks, will copy over your .com site to your .net site, allowing you kind of a sandbox or a playground area that you can go into to mess with things. You also have a .info site. This is .info is the same thing as your .com site. It is a live site, but it is an alternative server in case for some reason you can't get to the .com site, as well as .us. .info and .us are both domains that you can get to that exact same domains as .com. Now the .mobi site, this is the site, M-O-B-I. Your site name, .magazinemanager.mobi. I will encourage you, don't try to go to this site on a web screen, on a web page, because it's going to look like this, and it's not really designed for a full-blown web page. Your .mobi site is actually designed for your mobile device. So I'm going to pick up my iPhone now and go to my mobile device here, and I'm going to go ahead and launch Chrome here. Let's not do that here. Let's launch Chrome. And in Chrome, I've already come to, let's do it, consultants.magazine manager.mobi. only on your small screen here, on a small smartphone, smart device screen, do you ever want to try to come in here and do the .mobi site again, because it's just not formatted for anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my username. This is your regular Magazine Manager username, and then I'm going to minimize my screen here just a moment while I type in my password, because it kind of shows up on the phone screen. And then I'll go ahead and press login. This isn't smoke and mirrors. This is just me trying to protect my password here. Okay. So we'll log in, and this is where you come to once you log in. You'll notice that the site looks nothing like the regular Magazine Manager site. And you should also know that that your expectations should be set too, so that you realize you're not going to get full-blown features from the full-blown.com site. This is for you when you're out on the street and you want to prospect somebody, or you want to look up one of your clients' phone numbers, or maybe you're about to have a face-to-face meeting, you don't have your laptop or your tablet with you, but you need to look up and see what their last contract was or what some of the contract history was. This is, I would say, 90% to 95% CRM, looking up people, entering people, looking up phone numbers, looking up addresses, things like that, scheduling meetings and callbacks, looking at meetings and callbacks, and then just previewing some contract history. Not a whole lot else you're going to be able to do from the Mobi site. But check it out. I mean, let's say I'm on the road and I'm heading down to the Daily Planet, so I want to do a recent contact. I could check the recent contact here, or I'm going to go back to the home button in the upper right-hand corner here, and I'm going to search a contact. All right, so press Search Contacts, and the company name I'm going to look for is Daily, or actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to look for all of my companies. So I'm going to select myself as a sales rep, all right, here at the bottom. And the interface is a little bit different depending on what operating system. If you're on an Android or if you're on the iOS or an Apple device, the general interface is basically the same. But you select the sales rep and then press search. And then these are all of your contacts here. Because of the integration in with your phone, if you found, for example, Biostera Alice Worland, this one here, you can actually click this button and place a call to her right here, and it launches your phone application. You place a call. All right, but I want to take a look at, let's say Biostera is my company. Alice Wonderland is the person I talked to there. So I clicked the Biostera to open up the record. So here's the contact record for Alice Wonderland. Here is here's the phone. Here's an email link here. If I wanted to send her an email right from here, that will launch my email application. You'll see the last notes here, the time and date and everything. The note was here. If you want to look at all the notes, you press All Notes, and here's all the notes for this contact here. We can press the back button here at the top of the screen. We can add a note here if we need to add a note. We can do a quick note call here, quick note leave message, quick note callback. So let's say that I made that call and I selected Alice's phone number, and I'm done with the call. I scroll down here a little bit and I do a quick note call because we made a call. I called from the Mobi site, and look what it populates you with automatically. Called from the Mobi site on this date and time. I can put my cursor here, and here are other notes to append. Okay? How cool is that? Just from, okay, you forgot or you don't have your laptop computer with you, you're out on the street, you press save that note, and you now have the last note here in the center section. I mean, how cool is this? If you don't have everything here, you can place a call to the client, you can leave a quick note, you can even look at, here's her last contract that was added, Organic Delights for $5,000. It was December 2012 issue. It was a half-page vertical. If I'm going to look at all the contract history below that, I can look at all contracts, and it would list out just a very, very high level. You know, what was the product? What was the ad size? You know, how much was it for? You're not going to see all the custom fields and all of these different other parts. This is really just more for kind of an emergency purpose kind of thing, or you don't have your other hardware with you. You can get some really good high-level information from your contact. Now, you can also edit the contact record here. You choose Edit, and we can change Alice from Wonderland. Actually, her name is Alice Wonderland, so I can highlight, select that Y, make it an A, close out that. I could change the owner, put in a home phone number if I need to. I can do all kinds of stuff. And then at the bottom here, save the contact. And I've saved the contact information now from Alice Wonderland to Alice Wonderland. Just so, you know, smoke and mirrors, that's not what this is all about. I'm going to go to consultants.magazinemanager.com. I'm going to my live site here, and I'm going to look for Wonderla, and Alice Wonderland was changed from Wonderland, L-Y-N-D, to L-A-N-D. We'll also notice this note that I put in here from today at 3:09 p.m. Mark called from the Moby site on this date and time. Here's the other date and time. So this is, again, all tied in to your site, to your Magazine Manager site. It's just a little bit different way to get to it from your smartphone. Let's go and explore some other stuff. So that's your contact record information. Here's a contact search. If you wanted to create just a brand new contract, you're out on the street, you meet somebody at a conference or something else, or you're talking with one of your clients and they say, hey, listen, you really need to call these other folks. They love your magazine. They love your work. They want to go ahead and get in the book with you. So, okay, hang on a second. So we'll add a new contact, and you type in the customer's name, the company name, everything like that. Let me see if that's the best way to do it. No, that's a new subcontact. To add a brand new contact, oops, I don't want to call right now. To add another brand new contact, we can go to contact search, and then at the bottom, oh, I just did this a minute ago, adding a new contact. Well, I'll stumble across the way to add. It's adding a new subcontact is what you're doing. So here are my recent contacts: Biosphere, Daily Planet, Lois Lane. You know, we worked with her today. We had a note in here. Here's what other thing is really cool with the Moby device. Check this out: the address, and this is integrated to your Maps program in your smartphone. So if we click this, this is going to launch my Maps program. It's going to say, Google Maps, would you like to use it? Sure, I'll press OK. And this has been mapped here. So if I need directions to or from here, I can go in and based on whatever map application I have, I can go in and get directions. I think this is the directions, my current location. Again, all this integration to your smartphone is all driven through the .mobi site. So just to let you know, there's a lot of really nice, really cool, nifty features. Again, takeaway, what I want you to take away from this, the .mobi site is not meant to go in and start building new contracts, building new companies. You can add subcontacts, you can add change phone numbers, email, get mapping directions with your integrated mapping, place a phone call right from within here, add an auto note, a quick note callback, quick note meeting, things like that, add subcontacts and everything else. But again, it's just basically a 90% CRM with some contract history available in here. This is better than nothing. This is better than not having anything at all with you. It's your site, .magazinemanager.mobi. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and stop showing on here. And I'm going to shift gears a little bit now, and I'm going to come to my iPad. So let's say that you have a tablet device. You have an iPad out on site here. Give me just a second to open up the iPad, and let's get my password right here. Okay. Store. Let me also do the AirPlay. Mirror. Here we go. So this is the iPad. So this is a bit bigger device. Some of you may already be using the iPad. You might even learn some stuff or know some better stuff than even I know. But let me talk to you a little bit about the iPad and some things you can expect from here. All right, so here's the iPad. Okay, so I'm going to launch Safari as my browser. Now on the iPad, you don't have to go to your .mobi site because this is a big enough screen. Okay, this is a big enough screen for you to be able to go to. And I'm sitting here trying to click with my cursor, and that's not the way I need to do it. I need to be clicking with my finger on my iPad. Here we go. So on the iPad, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the same thing, consultants. You want to go to your .com site. You don't want to go to your .mobi site. You can go to your full-blown .com site and have full-blown access. So Magazine Man, let's get the M out of there, okay? So here's my full-blown .com site. You would log in as you normally would, and then with your password. Oh, well. Don't go rewinding this video, stealing my password now. I guess I'll change it. Just kidding. All right. So we notice our loading bar is loading up the site for us. And again, this is the full-blown site. Now, one thing you're going to notice right off the bat, and it was designed this way for a reason, intentionally, so know that you're not going to have your left hand and your right hand menu pane here. Remember over here on the left-hand pane, you have your big calendar, you have your quick search and your quick links and all of that. Most everything that you're going to be able to see here on the left-hand pane, you're able to get to anyway. Let's close that. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Let's go back there. Consultantsmagazinemanager.com. I thought I was closing some little bar thing here. Okay. So notice again, well, it came up this time. Huh. All right. Sometimes it doesn't. Usually this will not show up here on the left-hand side. But if you do have it, good, use it. If not, that's okay too. The point I wanted to make is if you don't have this information over here on the left-hand side, just know that you can get to everything through these menus up here, through customers, through reports, communication, circulation. You can get to all of those different things up here at the top in the menu. So this is just normal use of the Magazine Manager, okay? So for example, if you wanted to go to customers and search, I mean, I'm showing you guys how to use what you already know how to use. Sales rep name here, let's scroll to my name. And I'm going to show all results on one page, search, and here are all of my people. Now this is the other thing I wanted to point out too. Some of the scrolling functionality doesn't scroll exactly right, and I thought that was resolved already. Let me do a reload on this page. And which brings us to the next point. There is a paid browser that you can get. It's called Photon. And the scrolling in the left-hand menu and all that stuff works in there because it's this type of technology that that they use in the Photon. I did want to point that out. You can use that. Let me see if I've already got it open here in the App Store. It's this one right here, this in the upper left corner. It's called the Photon Flash Player. That makes a lot of the scrolling and different things work. I'm a little interested, though, in why that's Safari. Let me go into Chrome. Just like with the regular Magazine Manager, if something behaves funny in one browser, sometimes if you choose and change to a different browser, that weird behavior may go away. Let's take a look here. Consultants. Now let me just close this other Safari. Oh, I'm not closing all that. All right, we're back in here into Chrome. Logging in. All right. All right, so we don't have the left-hand pane. Let's do a search here, contact search. Pull my people all on one page. There we go. Now see how it's scrolling here? This scrolling does work. You might need to use Chrome, but scrolling on the list works fine. Let me point out one other thing. Look at the top here. Now remember, when you go and do a search, a customer search, let's say we open our company, the Daily Planet. I'm clicking on Daily Planet here. Let's just click Daily Planet to go to it. It's generally going to open things under Reports, go in the Report Suite, Sales Run Sheet. It opens everything in a different browser tab where you're normally used to having things open up in the little tabs here in Magazine Manager. We have tabs right below here that are above. Well, they don't quite work like that on the iPad. They're actually going to open up the brand new browser tabs. But whether the tab is up here or down here, you still have your tabs. You still have your navigation. It still works beautifully. So be sure to come in and look at it. I'm going to look at my sales run sheet for Organic Delights 2012 December. I want to show all on one page. And I can't search that because I need to press it on my iPad. Here we go. So I press search, and I run my sales run sheet. And here are all my numbers. Same run sheet you guys are used to looking at, and here's the little thumbnail from Digital Studio here. You can save that image if you want to, like to access your photos, absolutely. So let's say you're out on the street and your client says, hey, can you pull open from December 2012 our full page ad that we used? Can you email that to me? I want to get that. Sure, on your iPad, you kind of click and hold it. You can save the image. It goes into the image gallery. You use your tablets. Either you can text it to them or email it to them from the image gallery, and you can just go forward that way. It's really awesome. If you need to click into the client, we want to go to, pardon me, we want to go to DIA Risk Associates, jump right into that company record just like we normally do. Click the hyperlink, and there we are on the company record, DIA Risk Associates. You have the Details tab, the Contracts tab. You can see all the contracts. As we click the Contracts tab, it's going to open it up over here in another tab here. For 2014, I don't think we have anything, but we do have contracts in 2012. And so here is our contract information. If you want to edit or go out to the side and look at more details on the contract, you press the Edit button. You guys are used to all of this. You know what all this looks like. So I guess my point I want to make about this is that, yes, the magazinemanager.com, full-blown, fully functional, full-featured site works on a mobile device. It works best in Chrome. Chrome is a free web browser that you can download. I don't think Firefox has a mobile device browser yet. It didn't as 6 months ago, I believe, whenever I searched for this to put it on my web. But I use Chrome religiously. I'm a Google guy, so I like to use Chrome. Let's see my callbacks and meetings here. Again, same full-featured, rich-featured functionality that you can do. Mark these guys done because we want to keep our notification inbox cleaned up. Mark those done. There they go. They're gone. Okay. So those are some alternatives for the mobile device. This company is certainly not. We don't lean towards iOS. We don't lean towards Apple versus the Android. We actually do support both platforms equally. It just so happens that my personal smartphone, it happens to be an iPhone, so that's why we do the iOS there. And we have this tablet in house here for the for this. So at this point, we knew this wasn't going to be a very, very long call today because this is such a limited topic. What I can do, if you guys want to raise your hands and ask questions specifically about what we're talking about right now, I'll see if I can't open it up where you guys can come through and ask questions. All right, I've allowed you the ability to raise your hand. So if you have a question, just raise your hand. I will unmute you individually. I'll call you out to be able to ask your question. And again, I will only entertain questions specifically pertaining to the mobile devices. All right. And I'll also review some of the questions you guys have here. In here. For tablets, will Windows-based or Android system be the website? Again, the question about this is this, whether if you're on the Windows tablet or Android, or again, it works cross-platform. You're absolutely able to use it on any device, any operating system. Here's one about my login's not working for the Mobi site. Your login looks up the exact same table as it does when you log into the regular site. So perhaps there's just an error in your keying in your username and your password, but it absolutely uses the same credentials that you use to log into Magazine Manager. All right. The question, can you use it only with Chrome or can you use it with Safari? Again, I believe you're going to have a better experience, a better interface experience if you use Chrome. As we noticed when it first came up in Safari, that left-hand menu wasn't there. And then when we refreshed the page, came back in, the left-hand menu popped up, but then the page wouldn't scroll. So it's inconsistent behavior in Safari. I would absolutely suggest everyone start out with Chrome. All right, for sure. Here's one about, I can't find magazinemanager.mobi in my app store. Just realize again that this is not an app, though it looks like, and that, I'm glad you asked that question. That is a point I've meant to make. Although the Mobi site looks like an app, it's not actually a downloadable app in the App Store. It's just a website you're going to go to by launching your web browser on your smart device, on your mobile phone. All right, and again, use the .mobi from your phone. If you've got a tablet, an iPad, Android, Windows Surface tablet, whatever, go to your normal .com site. But if you're on your phone, you launch your web browser on your phone, preferably Chrome. From your phone, go to the .mobi site. It's your name, site name, .magazinemanager.mobi. Don't go looking for it in the App Store. It's not an app. It's not a downloadable app. It's a website to go to. Okay, still nobody with a hand raised. That's cool. I can definitely work with that. If we don't have any other questions at this point, I guess we will conclude today's brief webinar. Feel free to reach out to your consultants. If you don't know who your consultant is, and we've had a little bit of personnel shift here, had some people taking on new responsibilities and everything. So let me just remind you where you can go to get your consultant's information. If you want to just reach your consultant or any consultant in the help system here, we go back to the help system and the contact us. All right. Our consultants now are Dennis, Mark, and Karen. Don is Director of Consulting here, as you see. And even though it says Jacob Fenger is a software consultant, he's no longer a consultant. So the three of us have divvied up his accounts. So if you need to get a hold of us, if you need to meet with us, click here to schedule on our calendars. You can schedule a Q&A right from help on our calendar. Or email us is best. It's hard to get us on the phone because we're generally on support calls supporting other clients like yourself who've scheduled time on our calendar. So if you want to talk with us or meet with us about these features and functionalities or any other features or functionalities, I want you to go ahead and schedule with us. Let me also point out, since we're on the phone and we have a little bit of time, if you guys have not had an opportunity to check out MyList yet, you definitely want to be sure and check out MyList. For those of you in the accounting department, or if your best friend at your office is in the accounting department and you want to show them an easy way to post a stack of payments for checks, you can come to the accounts receivable section of MyList and look for customers with open invoices. This shows all the customers with an open invoice that you're going to need to apply a payment to. All right. Alexander Consulting, they have open invoices totaling $72,000. They have partial payments of $12,500, and they have a balance of $59,000. They just mailed you a big check. You simply press the Pay Invoice button right from here. It takes you to the Pay Invoice screen, and you can apply payments that way. Go right back to My List, refresh, they jump off the list, and you keep going on the list paying. For those of you in the collections department and you want to look at your severely delinquent client accounts, you can look at customers with over 120 days past due invoices, customers with 90 to 120 days past due, and this, we don't have any there. Let's see if we have anybody really old. So we have these customers with really, really old invoices. Just go down the list. Here's the phone number, make a note. Next guy, here's the phone number, make a note, send an email, do whatever you want. You get Charlie on the phone here with Nike USA. Charlie says, all right, fine, I'll clean up my account. I only owe you $730. Can you take my credit card? Sure can. Go to the payment screen. If you have merchant account services, just run that credit card number right through the site here, and that will apply that payment to that invoice automatically. So you put your credit card information in here. It marks the invoice and accounts receivable is paid, routes the money to your credit card, from your credit card to your bank, and everything's all said and done very easy. So things like this, some new features, new business processes, best practices, things like that. It's always good to have a conversation with your software consultant. So make an appointment with us. I'm going to do one last check for any raised hands. All right, nobody has a raised hand, wants to ask a question. So at this point, I will conclude today's webinar. Thank you everyone for attending. I do appreciate it. We at Magazine Manager and Mirabel Technologies, we do appreciate everybody's business. All right. I'm going to pause right now to make sure there's nothing else. All right. That'll do it. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day.